Before we begin, let me ask you something that might feel strangely personal. Have you ever noticed how the people who underestimated you suddenly start watching you the moment God begins elevating you? Isn't it funny? When you were struggling, they were silent. When you needed support, they disappeared. When you needed encouragement, they laughed. But now they're watching. Quietly, anonymously, consistently, almost religiously. It's almost as if God pulled up a front row seat for them, not to witness your pain, but to witness your rise. And if any part of you felt a shift recently, a calm before something big, an inner stretching, an unexpected clarity, then this isn't a coincidence. You didn't click on this video by accident. Because what's happening in your life right now is part of a divine arrangement. A setup, not a setback. A reveal, not a rejection. A rise, not a ruin. But before we go deeper, quick pattern interrupt. Do you ever wonder why people who claim they don't care about you somehow know everything you're doing? Strange, right? They don't check on you, but they check up on you. Anyway, back to the message. If you've been feeling overlooked, disrespected, dismissed, or underestimated, God saw it. And here's the twist most people never expect. Sometimes God allows certain people to walk out on you so they aren't standing in the way when He lifts you. And in this story, your story, we're entering the moment where your elevation becomes undeniable, unavoidable, unmistakable. And the very people who didn't believe in you are about to become witnesses to what God is doing through you. Welcome to the rise. Let's go back for a moment. Maybe you didn't realize it then, but the season you went through, the loneliness, the rejection, the confusion, the constant questioning, wasn't random. It wasn't punishment. It wasn't a sign that you were unworthy. It was preparation. Because before God elevates a chosen one, He often isolates them. But let me take you somewhere deeper. Think back to the people who didn't respect you. Not just the ones who doubted you. I'm talking about the ones who made you feel small, the ones who took you for granted, the ones who thought you'd never grow beyond the version of yourself they had built in their imaginations. You see, people love the version of you they can control. They love the version that needs them, that follows them, that depends on them for validation. But the moment you grow, the moment you heal, the moment God begins transforming you, that's when they pull away, because the new you doesn't feed their ego. You might have asked yourself back then, why did they treat me that way? Why didn't they see my worth? Why didn't they appreciate me? Why did they walk away when I needed their most need? Let me pause. Pattern interrupt. Have you ever tried explaining your dreams to someone who could barely understand basic instructions? Exactly. That's why God removed them. Listen closely. God saw the conversations behind your back. He heard what they said when you weren't in the room. He watched the way they laughed, mocked, dismissed, and doubted you. He watched them misjudge you, overlook you, mishandle you. And instead of exposing them, He elevated you quietly, silently, strategically. Because the rise of a chosen one is never loud in the beginning. It starts in the dark. It starts in silence. It starts in moments where you feel like nothing is happening. But trust me, everything was happening. You were being built, refined, strengthened, sharpened, prepared. And while you were growing, something else was happening. The same people who didn't respect you didn't realize they were pushing you deeper into your calling. Their disrespect was actually your redirection. Their abandonment was your acceleration. Their rejection was your release. Let me give you a cliffhanger. What's coming next in your life is the part they never saw coming. They thought they knew your story, but they had only read the introduction. God was still writing the chapters they didn't have access to. And oh, the chapters that are coming. Now, here's the part most people forget. God does not lift you in front of the people who believed in you. He lifts you in front of the people who doubted you. Why? Because elevation without witnesses doesn't reveal glory, but elevation in front of doubters, that reveals God. Your rise is not just about you. It's about the message attached to you, the testimony that will speak through you, the transformation that will inspire others. And yes, part of that transformation includes God allowing certain people to watch what happens next. Not for revenge, not for ego, not for pride, but so they can learn who was with you and who was for you, so they can understand the power of God over the life of a chosen one, so they can see the difference between someone they dismissed and someone God appointed. Let's move deeper. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life, a moment that feels like a shift. You don't always see it, but you feel it. Something subtle yet powerful. A sense that the old season is collapsing and the new one is forming. A sense that your prayers are aligning with your purpose. A sense that something big, something divine, something transformative is unfolding behind the scenes. If you're listening to this right now, this is that moment. Let me ask you a question. Have you noticed unusual blessings recently? Sudden ideas that seem to come from nowhere, doors opening without your effort, people leaving your life without drama, clarity hitting you at unexpected times? Those aren't coincidences. Those are shifts, indicators that your rise has begun. And while you rise, something fascinating happens. The same people who didn't respect you begin to watch you. Secretly, quietly, through burners, fake accounts, silent observations, through accidental likes, through conversations where your name suddenly reappears. You see, when God begins lifting a chosen one, it becomes magnetic, irresistible, unavoidable. People who dismissed you become curious. People who ignored you become observers. People who mocked you become silent learners. Let me give you a pattern interrupt. Isn't it funny how someone can block you, but still somehow keep up with your life? Strange spiritual Wi-Fi they've got, right? Anyway, when your rise begins, God allows them to watch it unfold, not to shame them, but to teach them. Because your breakthrough isn't just a blessing, it's a lesson. They thought you were done, finished, average, forgettable. But God is showing them that His favor doesn't depend on their approval. His anointing doesn't need their validation. His calling doesn't require their applause. Let's go deeper. Your rise is not ordinary. It's strategic, intentional, divinely orchestrated. You aren't rising because you got lucky. You're rising because you outgrew the season that tried to limit you. You're rising because your character passed tests in silence. You're rising because you stayed patient when others would have quit. You're rising because you remained faithful when nothing made sense. And now, the ones who laughed at you are slowly realizing the joke wasn't on them. It was on you. But here's where the story gets even better. What's coming next is something they cannot look away from. We've reached the turning point. This is where the story shifts, where you stop revisiting the past and start embodying the future. Let me tell you something powerful. God is not bringing you back to who you were. He's unveiling who you were always meant to become. This new season is not about proving anyone wrong. It's about fulfilling what God wrote about you long before anyone even knew your name. And here's the message you need to hear. You are entering the season where God makes them watch your rise, not for revenge, but for revelation. Because the people who overlooked you need to see something. They didn't reject a nobody. They didn't disrespect someone insignificant. They didn't dismiss someone ordinary. They mishandled a chosen one, and God is revealing that now. But here's the beautiful twist. Your rise will not make you arrogant. It will make you grateful, more compassionate, more aware of who truly belongs in your life, more aligned with your purpose. Because chosen ones don't rise to gloat. They rise to lead. They rise to inspire. They rise to transform. They rise to break generational cycles. They rise to show others what faith can do. They rise so God's glory can be seen through them. And this is where the watchers come in. The ones who didn't respect you are now learning from you, not directly, but by observing your life. Your growth is teaching them. Your peace is confusing them. Your breakthroughs are humbling them. Your resilience is inspiring them. They saw you struggle, but they never thought they'd see you rise. Certainly not like this. Not this strong. Not this confident. Not this blessed. Not this aligned. And now God is saying, yes, let them look. Let them watch. Let them see what I've done. Because your elevation is the evidence, the proof, the message.